Hi, I'm Linda May, and I'm a reader for Crystal Magic Psychic Center in Sedona, Arizona, this beautiful place where I live. I love it here. And I'm here today to talk to you about this full moon period that we're beginning on the early morning of August 9th at 12:55 a.m. That's Pacific Daylight Savings Time. And that means it will be full on August 9th at 3:55 a.m. on the East Coast. So wherever you are, you can adjust your time accordingly. This particular full moon is known as the Sturgeon Moon because this is the time of year when sturgeon were most readily caught during the month of August. Sturgeon are basically prehistoric fish, and they symbolize longevity, survival, and also ancestral knowledge. This is the time to reap the rewards of your hard work, release any lingering emotional weight that you have, strengthen your spiritual foundation, and reconnect with your ancestors and guides on the other side. There are other names that this moon is known for. The Sturgeon Moon was given that name by the Algonquins of North America, the Native Americans, and other names are the Corn Moon, the Barley Moon, the Fruit Moon, and the Lightning Moon. And a lot of those names are also due to what's happening at this time of year. Corn and barley are two of the things that are coming to fruition at this time. The Fruit Moon is soon to come. The fruit on the vines and all that stuff. In fact, I remember as a kid growing up, we used to have grapes in August, and that was in Massachusetts. So, yeah, there is fruit too. And also the lightning moon, because this is often a time where things get a little bit stormy. Here in Arizona, we have monsoon season at this time, so there is lightning and thunder and all that kind of stuff. So all of that is a part of this moon, but it's most commonly known as the Sturgeon Moon. We do have a full moon when the sun and moon are considered in opposition, and astrologically, this means that both the sun and moon are in opposing signs, and at the time of this full moon, the sun is in Leo and the moon is in Aquarius, exactly opposed the sun on August 9th at 12:55 a.m., as I mentioned. This full moon is all about daring to do what you aspire to do as you align your personal ideals and collective concerns. So interestingly, the ideals, the collective part has to do with the Aquarian age, the Aquarian moon working in conjunction with the Leo sun. So the developments will prove to be relevant in the future. It's also a time of healing and closure, which I mentioned when I was talking about the Sturgeon Moon. It's a very cleansing full moon and will calibrate us more for the future to come. So that's actually a really good thing. And this is actually really for our own sake, it's really good that this is at this time. Aspect-wise, there are some major considerations. First of all, one of the things that kind of excites me is that we're now in the Lion's Gate portal. It celebrates the rising of Sirius, which symbolizes a spiritual rebirth for all of us. The Lion's Gate started on July 29th and it goes through August 8th, so just before this full moon. In addition, on August 1st, Mercury conjuncts the Sun in Leo, and Mercury went retrograde on July 17th and does become direct again on August 11th. So there may be some, hiccups in communications and stuff like that. That often happens when Mercury goes retrograde. Also, sometimes it has to do with streaming things, internet, all of that. So, don't be surprised that you've been going through some of that, but luckily August 11th and it's over, it goes direct again, and we'll have a little bit of the shadow after that, but then we're clear again. So just after the Lion's Gate blessings, we do have an opportunity for better communication with others. Other significant aspects include the ending of oppositions between Mars, Saturn, and Neptune, which has been having us doubt ourselves. So if you've noticed a little bit of self-doubt lately, that's why. That's been in effect for a bit. And I do recommend that you do your best to summon your courage and determination to aspire to something better going forward. The full moon will help with this, thankfully. Luckily, Venus and Jupiter meet in Cancer on August 12th, which brings a sense of fulfillment to relationships as well as projects that you're working on. Then a little bit later in the month, towards the end of the month, at the time of the new moon, which is on August 22nd, that's also the day when the sun enters Virgo. So there is a level of sensitivity that happens because of all of that. As well as a number of challenging aspects between Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto that are right around the same time. You may feel a bit emotional and restless, but looking for clarity and facing negative emotional experiences does help quite a bit. So more about this when we talk about the new moon in a few weeks, but that's just sort of like a coming attractions for you, things to look forward to. But all the more reason to do your inner work when you're doing the stuff that's coming up at the, right around now with the full moon. So good to keep in mind. We're now in the season of Lughnasadh as of October 1st, so we are now focusing more on the beginning of the harvest season in the near future. This is known as the first of the 3 harvest seasons. It's basically a time of celebrating what is and preparing for what's to come. This is basically the midpoint between summer and autumn. So that's also part of the harvest season. This is the first harvest, autumn is the second, and then Samhain would be the third of the harvest seasons and the beginning of the next. So this is the last of the summer and the beginning of the harvest season. So the traditional Celtic tree calendar, based on the moon cycles with the new year beginning at Samhain, has the tree for this period of the July-August, because we started in July, but it's basically the August moon cycle is apple, okay? And this is apple. Okay, apple, basically, as we mentioned at the new moon, is all about abundance, choices, fertility, regeneration, the feminine, and there's also a part of this tree that honors fairies and divas, believe it or not, so it's kind of neat. That's from this deck here, the Celtic Tree Oracle. Celtic Tree Oracle. And it's just, I think it's a great signification of harvest time, so really wonderful. And now I'm going to start drawing cards for this time period, and we're going to start with a card from the Druid Animal Oracle deck. This is the one I use for most of my very deep soul readings that I do. I do them in person, I do them online, by phone, whatever it is. These are the cards I usually use for those kind of readings with others. I just think that they have a message that everybody needs to hear, and the right person hears the right thing at the right time with these cards. And we pull the Bull. Very interesting. The Bull actually stands for charging into things. So part of what this is it has to do with you recognizing your own strength, recognizing your ability to charge into things and get things done when you need to. And it also has to do with setting boundaries when you need to, which is also a part of this full moon energy. So it really fits in many ways. Interestingly, these 3 cranes are basically saying, remember to take a moment to balance before you go charging into anything or before you set rash boundaries, because the bull, the cranes stand for balance, and they basically bring you the knowing of what's the right thing to do in this moment, and then the bull gives you the energy to do the right thing. So, and hold it the way you need to. So this is actually a really good card to have in alignment with this full moon. Very, very good. And now from this deck, the Druidcraft Tarot, I do a daily card pull from this. The Druidcraft Tarot, same author and same artist as the Druid Animal Oracle, interestingly. And let's see what we get for this period. Let's see. Okay, so we get the 6 of Wands. This is really interesting too. Also pretty much in alignment with this the Leo sun especially. It has to do with success and leadership, being able to lead other people, do things that you need to do, know the right decisions to make and all of that. But it also has to do with working on your own self. You can't be a good leader until you do your own inner work, until you have a sense of self-mastery. So that's part of what this card is about, and that's part of what we are aiming to achieve at the time of this full moon as we go through things that I already talked about. So very cool that we got that. Now the trees, they always have a nice message for us. The trees, interesting. This is really interesting, especially at this time. In many ways, a good advice. It's called idle hours, idle hours. And it says, take some time out to lie on the emerald grass. So the cool thing about this is sometimes when we have to do inner work, or we have to look at things before we make our decisions and before we move into things rashly, we have to achieve that level of self-mastery, and we don't do that unless we look at our inner stuff. So one of the things I see this as is taking the time to recharge, take the time to look at yourself, to look at the things that you need to know so that you can go forward. And this basically is a time of relaxation. So it means that as you do that work, you're actually going to be in a better place in the long run. So that's a pretty nice card to have for this. All right, now we're going to do the Sedona Spirit Wind Oracle deck, okay? Spirit Wind Oracle deck. Beautiful, beautiful places in Sedona. All of them are sacred. Secret Mountain Wilderness. Look at that. How gorgeous is that? It's all secrets are known in love. All right, that's really a great message, okay? All secrets are known in love, and that is the key to doing your inner work. Remember to love yourself. Remember to forgive. Remember to be kind and compassionate. As we do that, things are revealed to us. We get our knowings from coming to that place, knowing that everything is known in love, okay? Great card, really great card. Okay, now we're going to do this Light Bearers deck, which is a angel guidance cards. They're a group of angels that are here to help us to awaken to a new humanity. So this is also in alignment with that Leo Aquarius energy. A lot of the things that come up have to do with not only our own personal goals and pride and the things that we need to accomplish, but also the collective. And I mentioned that at the beginning. So this is like the message from the angels that's helping us with this. And we get Archangel Haniel. Archangel Haniel. So archangels are always great. Clear your energies of worry. Seek a quiet place to relax. Be still. And in the stillness, clarity will come. So that's kind of what this was saying, the idle hours, clarity comes, This is sort of like three cranes telling you to balance first before you go rushing into things, right? And it also has to do with learning how to go within to develop a sense of self-mastery so that you can be a good leader and lead others and help others along the way. So great messages, great cards. So I will be back before the new moon on August 22nd to tell you more about that. I know I gave you a few hints today, but we'll get much more into it when the new moon comes. And in the meantime, if you would like a psychic soul reading or a counseling session in person, by phone or Zoom, I am here at Crystal Magic Psychic Center most Monday afternoons and Friday mornings. So you can contact us at crystalmagicpsychiccenter.com and set up an appointment with me for whatever works for you and whatever times I have available. And do just, contact Crystal Magic. You can also call by phone and make an appointment by phone here, everything. So all the information you need is on the website, and I do want to wish you blessings of this full moon and remind you that you are always loved.